Well, good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from beautiful, rainy San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. I hope you guys are as thrilled as me to have another opportunity to create a wonderful day for yourself and those around you by the choices that you make and the actions that you take. All right, let's go ahead and begin this morning with a statement, and we will unfold it for you moving forward. A crisis in your business or in your life is a great opportunity for that to be the catalyst for you to create a system. A crisis or a disappointment in your life or business is a great opportunity for you to create a system. Well, what would a system be in this case? So a system is something that kicks into place when a situation that has occurred previously that has created circumstances, or a situation that you were unhappy with or that you did not desire. It's a situation that may keep recurring. And if these situations keep recurring, Albert Einstein has a brilliant observation in relation to this. He said, insanity, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You see, if you find yourself faced with a continual crisis, so let me just touch on several of the spokes in the wheel of life that we coach to. Good morning, Mark. Several of the spokes that we coach to, so spiritual. Let's just say that you say, I'd really like to read my Bible more. I'd really like to pray more. But you just get too busy and, quote, you think you don't have time, right? That might be an issue. Or your physical spoke on the wheel of life. Maybe you say, gosh, I'd really like to be in good shape. I just really don't have time, or I just can't seem to get around to it. I understand this. These are very common I won't use the word excuses, but these are very common limiting beliefs that people have that keep them from becoming who they know they could become because they buy into the lie that they tell themselves about the situation. So that could be a crisis. Let's say in the marriage, let's say there's an ongoing conversation that comes up that creates sparks. Let's say, I don't know, maybe around money. And you realize that this is a catalyst, or this is an issue that continues to rise up. Or maybe it's with your teenagers or your children, where there's a constant conversation or a battle that turns into a little bit of a massive disagreement moving forward, and that can be an issue for you. Or in your business, let's just say you continue to get feedback from your clients or your customers that's negative feedback or something that you don't want. Each of these situations is the perfect time to create a system. A system is a way of handling a situation that has been well thought out in advance, so that when it needs to show up, it's in place. You don't have to get creative and figure it out. Now, it does require you to put the work in ahead of time. You see, you have to plan your battle strategy during the time of peace. Planning your battle strategy during the battle puts you on the defensive, and it puts you in a position of weakness. So you tend to react in the battle and defend in the battle because you don't have a plan. You're trying to come up with one in the battle. In other words, when you're in the situation that you are in, it's kind of too late for you to be victorious. You're just trying to survive. And what I'm sharing with you today in this coaching for free is how to thrive in a situation. So let's address each one of those, and I'll give you an idea of a system. Okay, let's say for those of you that say, I'd really like to read my Bible more, I'd really like to pray more, I just don't seem to get around to it, or I don't have time. In my coaching program, you sign a contract that says if you're in coaching and I ever hear you say, I didn't have time, you get throat punched. Now, it'll only bruise for about a week. You'll go down for about 5 seconds. I will pick you back up. I'll dust you off. I'll take you in my office so it'll be private so that you can recover from the throat punch. You never say, I didn't have time. If you're in my coaching program, in my world, you must use this language. It wasn't a priority. It wasn't a priority, because you have time for the things that are important to you. Every one of you have time for the things that are important to you. You just discovered that what you said you wanted was something you weren't really willing to commit to the activities required to obtain what you wanted. So, good morning, Miss Mary. So one of the things that you find yourself trapped in, as most people, is this desire for an outcome with the unwillingness to commit to the daily activities required to reach that outcome, because you reprioritize what you want now for what you know you could use later. So you exchange what you want now for what you could have in the future, and it's just a habit. So I'm going to give you a tool here. Let's say someone wanted to read their Bible more, or somebody wanted to spend more time praying with the Lord. Well, let me just share this with you. In the book of Proverbs, which will make you really smart if you study it, by the way, there are 31 chapters. Go figure. There's almost 31 days in every month. You pick the day of the month it is. Okay, today is the 11th, June 11th. You would go to Proverbs chapter 11, and literally in less than 5 to 7 minutes, you knock it out. You know exactly what you need to do, okay? Exactly what you need to do is you read the Psalm of the day, or the proverb of the day, based on the number of the day of the month. It's the 13th, you read chapter 13, they're short chapters. That is your exactly what. Then you have to put in your schedule and determine exactly when. Exactly what, exactly when. Key to success. You have to know exactly what you're going to do, then you have to put in your schedule exactly when you're going to do it, and then you just commit to that schedule. You commit to that schedule. Let me say that one more time. You commit to the schedule. What's the difference? Most people are making decisions to take action based on their feelings rather than their commitments. You see, when you're committed, your feelings don't have a voice. When you're committed, your feelings aren't part of the equation. When you're committed, your feelings do not enter into the conversation. When you're committed, feelings have nothing to do with the commitment. You just take action. You execute regardless of your feelings. So that's one of the systems that you can have for your spiritual life. Let's say physical life. Let's say somebody says, I know if I could get up in the morning and go to the gym and work out at 5 a.m. and get home by 6, my whole life would change. And by the way, I promise you it absolutely will. Absolutely. There's no way it can't. Because you have more time. You start off the day winning. You start off the day with your body being a slave to your mind instead of your mind being a slave to your body. And you begin the day winning on a very, very high level. Okay? Changes everything. Changes everybody you're in a relationship with too. You'll help everybody, not just yourself. So here's one of the ways you can do it. You get out your socks and your shoes and your shorts and your shirt. You put it in the bathroom, and you put your telephone in the bathroom with a very loud alarm that will annoy your spouse, or that will annoy you. It's not next to your bed so that you can hit snooze. By the way, here's a little nugget. If you're one of these people who wake up in the morning and hit snooze, you'll end up working for somebody who doesn't. Bam! Take that to the bank. Next, put it in the bathroom. When the alarm goes off, you have to get your butt up out of bed and run into the bathroom to turn off the alarm. Now you are in motion, you're in movement. That is a system to ensure that I don't have the crisis of rolling back over in my bed, flipping the pillow over to the cool side, and then snuggling up and sucking my thumb and going, well, I'll work out tomorrow. In order to avoid that crisis, you create a system. Your system is, I put all my workout stuff in the bathroom in the morning. I put my phone in the bathroom with a very loud alarm. And when the alarm goes off, I got to get up and run over there and get it. That's a system. When you find yourself on the marriage spoke of life, okay, in a marriage relationship, if you discover that, you know what? We tend to get into fights when we talk about money unanticipated. If you are ever the lucky recipient of this statement, we need to talk right now. Run for the hills, brother. Okay, that can create a crisis, getting caught off guard with a money situation, or having a very deep conversation at night as you're about to fall asleep. Now, I'm not talking about good night, I love you, I'll see you in the morning. I'm talking about, hey, remember that thing that we said that we're going to do 3 weeks from now that's going to require this, and that, No, don't have big conversations when you're laying in bed getting ready to go to sleep. It never really ends well. So a system that you could put into place is a conversation with your loved one saying, hey, if we're going to have a hard conversation, one that you think might create some sparks with us, give me a heads up and let's set an appointment. Hey, I would like to talk about this. What is a good time for you? And let's put it in the schedule. And you put it in the schedule. That way both of you can mentally prepare for that conversation. And you write out questions you want to ask one another during that meeting. You see, when you ask questions instead of make statements, you stay in curiosity, you get out of judgment. It's less likely that you're going to feel you need to defend yourself because you're learning and discovering. That is a system. Is fighting with your spouse a crisis? Create a system, a way that you're going to approach the situation that will likely come up again. A system is, we don't have big conversations when we lay our heads on our pillow at night in bed. We just don't have them. We don't do that because we're not at our best. We're spent, we're tired, we're done. A system is, we will set a time and create an appointment for us to have a tough or hard conversation if we need to have it. We don't avoid the tough conversation. We just schedule it rather than getting completely caught off guard. Does this make sense? Y'all follow what I'm saying? Crisis is the opportunity to create a system. You do not have to go through the crisis again and again and again unless you're foolish or insane. I will end with what Albert Einstein says. Insanity, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. If you want a different result, you have to take a different action. Does this make sense? What crisis are you having in your life right now? By the way, they vary. A crisis for me could be something that is acceptable to another guy. I'd be like, the people are mad. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. I didn't follow through. No big deal. That's a crisis for me. That's not a crisis for somebody else. The crisis is subjectively defined by you. Do you have a crisis right now? I challenge you to ask yourself, how can I create a system to combat when I'm in battle time? Now that I'm in peacetime, I will take the time to work on myself so that when I'm in the situation, I have a way that I have pre-decided and predetermined that I'm going to show up in that situation. I won't be caught off guard. I will be able to step into this and be able to focus on what I'm going to do because I will have taken the time to plan. Having a crisis? Come on, Louisa. Create a system. It's that simple. I hope today you decide to look at the areas of your life that have continual crisis or drama, and you choose to take the time to work on a system. Good morning, Michelle. You guys have a great day.